These are our memories of the was and is.
My early memories are of Edgbaston and Five Ways and Hagley Road, and that's changed considerably since I was small, but I can't even remember the trams that went up there. There was a lot of big old houses there, and it was a lovely road. Now it's all tall office buildings, and I think it's been spoilt. Not very far away from there is the Botanical Gardens, which my early memories are of a bear that was in a cage. Sadly, I think the bear died, but now they have got a few birds, and they also have got the most beautiful plants. And I think that it's so close to the city centre, and it's such a peaceful oasis. It's a beautiful place to visit. From there, you go along roads that were owned by Calthorpe Estates, and they there was lovely houses there. They were leasehold property mainly, and they put rules and regulations on them that you could do or you couldn't do things, and it kept that area very nice. And it was well known for the beautiful trees that were there, because they made sure that plenty were planted, and if you want to cut one down you have to get permission.
So having left Edgbaston, we come into Harbourne High Street, and there was a wealth of little tiny shops where you could buy almost anything that you could think of, and you didn't even have to go down to the city. There were supermarkets there, but very small, nothing to write home about. They didn't sort of take the trade away from the small shops. But nowadays it's a different story altogether. We've got big supermarkets and the shops are diminishing fast. We did have, then we go on to Station Road, which was a funny little road really, but being the station that was down there when I arrived in the 1970s, and there was the turntable there, although the rail had been lifted, it stood there, and it was quite a remarkable little place. But then they knocked it all down and built flats in its place, and the railway actually, as it stands, is a walkway now, which is quite interesting and very nice, but it's sort of taken a bit of the atmosphere away. And you go further down the road where the Chad Valley factory was, where they made the toys, and that is now the police station, and again more flats, as is the fire station, which was next door. That was a beautiful building, but there was a preservation order put on that, so that they actually converted that into flats rather than knock the place down. Then you go a bit further up the street, and there was an old-fashioned Victorian theatre, and that was used for workshops for many years. And there's a stone actually there laid by David Garrick, and that is now also had a preservation order put on it, that it couldn't be knocked down, but that it also is flats now. So that's how it goes. And then you get up to the end of the street where the old police station was, and they tried to put a preservation order on it, but it was knocked down overnight. So that went by the board. So that's really how Harbourne, as I've known it. And nowadays it's, well, the old people still refer to it as a village, but the younger people coming in don't think of it quite like that. So that's my story.
I've got very many memories of the area for about 60 years, and it has changed so completely from a place where a lot of people lived to a place where a lot of people work and come to for entertainment as well. And some of the changes are good and some of them are not so good.
Things have changed so vastly. I mean, even schooling's changed from the days when we were younger, and there's a different sort of set of rules and things. And tomorrow I can see everything will be computerised, and the children will just only know how to press buttons, I think, rather than read.